In this video, I'll discuss the difference between transmission and reflection. If we're standing in a lake, if we look down at our feet, we can see the bottom. That's transmission. If we look far away, we can see a reflection of the trees. So how does that work? It's in my book, Ellen's Art for Beginners, on Amazon. Light hitting glass can either be transmitted through the glass or reflected off the glass. If the light is perpendicular to the glass, most of the light is transmitted through. But if the light hits the glass at an angle, more of it is reflected than transmitted. Transmission and reflection affect how we see a lake. If we look straight down, almost perpendicular to the water surface, the light goes through the water, so we see the rocks at the bottom. But when we look further out toward the horizon, so we're looking at the surface from a smaller angle, the water surface turns into a mirror and we see a reflection instead. And this reflection lies on the surface of the water, so it obscures our view of the bottom. This same principle occurs when we look through glass. If our line of sight is perpendicular to the glass, we can see straight through, so we see the texture of the wood. If instead our line of sight hits the glass at an angle of less than 90 degrees, we see reflections on the glass that obscure the view of the grass below. Light is transmitted rather than reflected if you're on one side and the light is on the other side. So in this picture, the viewer is inside looking out and the light is outside coming into the viewer, so it's transmitted through the glass. In this case, the viewer is on the outside looking at this lit staircase, and so the light from the inside comes out, is transmitted out to the viewer. On the other hand, light is reflected if you're on the same side as the light. So here, the woman is taking a picture of a window and the light is behind her. So both she and the light are outside, so she sees a reflection. Here, I'm inside, that's me, and the light is inside, and so you can see part of my room in the reflection. The fight between transmission and reflection depends on these four factors. So let's evaluate them when we look at this image. So the first one is the angle between the window and your line of sight. My phone is right where this arrow is, so that's where my eye is. So my line of sight is perpendicular to the window. I'm looking directly in, and as a result, I can see this Windex bottle with its light transmitted back to me. When I look higher up, my line of sight makes a smaller angle with the glass, and so I see the reflections of the world behind me. Now, the second factor is, where is the light relative to the viewer? I'm outside and most of the light is outside, so I mainly see reflections. The third factor is how intense the light is. And outdoor light is very intense, so that makes the reflection very strong and it easily overcomes transmission. And then the final factor is how close the object is to the other side of the glass. This Windex bottle is right next to the glass, and that's one reason I can see it. And there's actually one more factor, which is that I'm casting a shadow on this glass right here, so I'm stopping reflections from hitting this part of the glass, and that's one further reason why I can see this bottle. Check out my book on Amazon, Ellen's Art for Beginners, and please remember to subscribe.